Eddie Murphy's return to the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary special was more than just a nostalgic homecoming. It was a powerful reminder of his enduring influence on American comedy. Amidst a star-studded lineup, the legendary comedian stood out with a presence that was both familiar and refreshed, seamlessly bridging the past and the present. For longtime fans, Murphy's return to the SNL stage was a throwback to his golden era, the very place where he skyrocketed to fame. But beyond the laughs, his performance carried a deeper undertone, a testament to his journey through the highs and lows of fame, personal struggles, and redemption. As he took the stage, Murphy's charisma was as magnetic as ever, proving that true comedic genius never fades. It evolves. His ability to blend humor with reflection made the night not just a celebration of SNL's history, but also a tribute to the resilience of an artist who has weathered the storms of Hollywood and emerged stronger. The SNL 50 event wasn't just about revisiting old characters or rehashing past glories. It was about honoring the legacy of comedy and its ability to reinvent itself. And Murphy, with his effortless wit and undeniable star power, once again proved why he remains one of the most influential figures in the industry. Through that night, Eddie Murphy didn't just relive his past, he reaffirmed his place in the future of comedy, inspiring both seasoned entertainers and up-and-coming comedians to keep pushing the boundaries of humor. Eddie Murphy, a name that isn't just synonymous with roaring laughter in Hollywood, but also carries a life full of complexities, personal upheavals, tangled romances, and career-defining challenges. From his humble beginnings in the tough streets of Brooklyn, he rose to become a comedy icon with legendary films like Beverly Hills Cop and Coming to America. But behind the laughter lies the real man, one with private struggles, difficult choices, and untold stories that the public has yet to uncover. Today, we're diving deep into the untold chapters of Eddie Murphy's life, from personal scandals and his journey through love and marriage to his role as a father and the turning points in his career. This is the story of a man who never stopped reinventing himself, conquering not only the highest peaks of success, but also navigating the winding, unpredictable roads of life. After more than 4 decades of relentless dedication, Eddie Murphy remains beloved by millions worldwide, earning the title of the King of Comedy. With a career filled with iconic roles, unforgettable performances on the big screen, and the love of millions across the globe, Eddie Murphy has long been a Hollywood legend. But when it comes to his love life, the man dubbed a Don Juan out of time has been a magnet for controversy, making countless headlines with his string of high-profile and scandalous romances in Tinseltown. Speculation swirls that Eddie Murphy's list of lovers could fill pages, featuring women of various backgrounds, ethnicities, and skin tones, some publicly linked to him, others involved in more secretive affairs. Eddie Murphy was born on April 3, 1961 in Bushwick, Brooklyn, New York, into a struggling lower-class family. His parents divorced when he was very young. Then, at just 8 years old, Eddie suffered an unimaginable tragedy. His father, Lillian Murphy, a police officer and part-time amateur comedian, was shot and killed by his new girlfriend during a domestic dispute in their home. His father's sudden death shattered Eddie's world. His mother, a frail woman who had already severed ties with Eddie's father, suffered a stroke from the shock and spiraled into a mental breakdown, requiring psychiatric hospitalization. Left to fend for themselves, Eddie and his older brother, Charles Murphy, hustled to survive, taking on jobs like selling goods, delivering newspapers and flyers, and waiting tables just to make ends meet and pay for their mother's treatment. Eddie later described his childhood as a tear-soaked diary filled with hardship. At his lowest, he even considered ending his own life. But his unbreakable will and burning desire to escape the grim reality of his life in a crumbling housing project pushed him to rise above it all, eventually becoming one of the brightest young talents his city had ever seen. Despite a life of relentless hardships and deprivation, Eddie possessed an irrepressible sense of humor, wit, and optimism. His ability to find joy in the darkest times became the defining contrast of his personality, a mindset that allowed him to embrace a higher purpose beyond the struggles of his reality. Born in 1961, Eddie Murphy is one of America's most legendary comedians. Over the years, he has starred in numerous films, including box office hits like Meet Dave, Dreamgirls, and Tower Heist. But beyond his acting career, Eddie is also a gifted soul singer, boasting several chart-topping hits. His deep, velvety voice, effortless vocal control, and natural flair for melody made him a standout in the music industry as well. Refusing to limit himself to the spotlight of Hollywood, Eddie Murphy used his cinematic success as a springboard to expand his artistic reach. His foray into music led to a wildly successful soul album, featuring multiple hit songs that dominated the charts. Party All the Time, Put Your Mouth on Me, How Could It Be, and Love's Alright. His collaborations with legendary artists like Michael Jackson and Stevie Wonder further cemented his place in the music world. Reflecting Reflecting on his past in a television interview, Eddie once shared, "Even now, I still feel like crying when I think about the days I left behind. But I believe the best way to escape hardship is to turn everyday life into a grand stage where imagination runs free and a burning belief in a better future keeps you moving forward." From a young age, Eddie was fascinated by theater and comedy shows on television, obsessing over the mannerisms, voices, and personalities of his favorite comedic idols. He would spend hours in front of a mirror, performing monologues to himself, small acts of play that would later form the foundation of a world-famous comedic career. Even in high school, his sharp wit and natural charisma made him the life of every gathering. His friends affectionately crowned him the class clown, recognizing his effortless ability to make people laugh. But Eddie wasn't just about cracking jokes. He was already crafting his path to stardom. At just 15 years old, while his peers were lost in teenage daydreams, Eddie took matters into his own hands. Using what little money he had from part-time jobs, he quietly wrote, directed, acted in, and even composed music for his first ever short comedy film, a bold first step into the world of cinema. The film's unexpected success took even Eddie by surprise. Entertainment clubs across the city invited him to screen the film and perform his debut song, amazed by his raw talent and determination. Inspired by his resilience and creative genius, two executives from the comic strip, one of the biggest comedy production companies in the US, decided to make Eddie Murphy's dream of becoming a professional actor a reality. Eddie Murphy's personal life is a canvas painted with strokes of every shade and texture. As entertaining and hilarious as his on-screen performances may be, his private life has been just as tangled and complicated. Like many Hollywood stars, Eddie has often found himself caught in the whirlwind of scandalous romances, giving tabloid journalists plenty to write about. As his fame skyrocketed, so did the public's fascination with his high-profile relationships. His love affairs with famous women were always headline-worthy, constantly fueling media frenzy and keeping his name at the center of Hollywood gossip. Eddie Murphy married Nicole Mitchell after 2 years of living together. The couple had 5 children, but by 2006, their marriage came to an end when Mitchell tearfully told the press that they had irreconcilable differences. Public speculation ran wild, with many believing that trying to tie down a man as notoriously charismatic and womanizing as Eddie was an impossible task. Throughout their marriage from 1988 to 2006, Eddie repeatedly found himself at the center of tabloid scandals, often leaving his wife in tears. Women who had caught his eye didn't hesitate to spill intimate details of their encounters, treating them as grand conquests. For Mitchell, who had endured years of his infidelities, walking away wasn't a matter of if, but when. After his first failed marriage, many thought the wild stallion would finally settle down and turn over a new leaf. But Eddie's free-spirited and womanizing ways once again sent shockwaves through the public. His brief but highly publicized romance with former Spice Girls member Melanie B resulted in a baby girl, an unexpected consequence that quickly turned into a never-ending saga across America. Instead of discussing politics or economics, Americans found themselves caught up in the drama of the comedian's love life. After a whirlwind romance with the fiery pop star, Eddie vanished without a trace, refusing to acknowledge the child as his own. When pressed for confirmation, he flatly denied responsibility, telling reporters, "I don't know if the baby is mine. I think a paternity test is necessary." His cold dismissal turned him into a villain overnight, a heartless, irresponsible man in the eyes of the public. Meanwhile, Melanie B., his former lover and once intended fiancé, didn't hold back. "I could only give a bitter smile when I heard Eddie say that on TV. That's not the man I loved, the one who constantly talked about marrying me. Something must have changed in him. Something made him not want to be with me anymore. But don't tell me it's because I'm reckless. I've always taken care of my children. Nobody's knocking on my door at 3 or 4 a.m. I once deeply respected Eddie Murphy. I just wanted to be his wife." Talking about his large brood with multiple women, the renowned African-American comedian once stated, "It's pretty interesting. Not a single one of my kids looks like me. And I believe every parent says that. They're all completely different. Each one has their own personality and they're all really good kids." Before the birth of his youngest son, Max Charles Murphy, the 57-year-old star and his girlfriend, 18 years his junior, admitted they were both nervous and excited about welcoming a new member to the family. They're both thrilled to have another child. They were hoping for a baby girl. Currently, the couple leads a relatively private life. Focusing entirely on their little family, Paige has built a strong bond with Eddie's children from previous relationships. They are a unique and happy family, often going on vacations and celebrating special occasions together. Paige loves being a mother and is genuinely passionate about it. She enjoys taking her daughter to the park.